A crew member vanished right here. Okay, not literally right here, but at the foot of Hamburg's Elbphilharmonie. But before this architectural masterpiece rose, this site had a very different life, full of cocoa, chaos, time balls and dynamite. So let me tell you the story of Hamburg's world-famous concert hall. Before the beautiful Elbphilharmonie was built smack in the middle of the harbor, there were only cow pastures. But when the harbor became more accessible for bigger ships, because they dug out the floor of the riverbed, you know what I mean. When the harbor became accessible for bigger ships, the cows were kicked off and storage facilities were needed. One of these storage facilities was the Kaispeicher A, or Pier Storage A. And because this name was rather boring, they renamed it Kaiserspeicher, or Emperor Storage. Far more impressive. And this building was accessible directly from the water and connected via a railway with the rest of the town or the rest of the country. So it was a really amazing thing back then. But this building, this Emperor Storage, was not only practical from the inside, its outside was useful too. Its clock tower signaled the tide, but it also had a time ball. A time ball like you know from New York at New Year's Eve. Back in the day, time balls were mostly used in harbors. 10 minutes before 12 p.m. Greenwich time, the time ball rose to the top and exactly at 12 p.m. it dropped. And this signaled the exact time, and every seaman and woman could make exact predictions about longitude, which is of course important if you are a seafarer. It was more practical to signal the exact time this way than an acoustic signal, because an acoustic signal takes longer to travel, it takes longer to be perceived. A time ball was a great invention back then, so that everybody could have the exact time all the time. My whole point is once or twice a day, everybody in the harbor watched the ball drop, and it was a great thing. The Kaiserspeicher burned down in the Great Fire of Hamburg, and it was rebuilt. It was destroyed mostly during the Second World War, and it was rebuilt. But in 1963, its time was finally over. And this beautiful building was destroyed, its tower was taken down with dynamite, and it was replaced with the most practical storage facility you can imagine, a square. I mean a rectangle. This building had the additional feature of cranes, so the workers could get all the sacks of coffee, tea and cocoa beans from the ships into the storage as soon as possible. This building soon became known as the Cacao Bunker. And the most important thing in the Cacao Bunker was that you had a good sister. But I let the experts explain.
Ein Sack wog rund 63 Kilo. Den schmissen sogenannte Schwestern.
So, das ist der Hafenjargon. Das wird seit Jahren als Schwester betitelt und dadurch, dass man eben, wie gesagt, mit zwei Leuten zusammenarbeitet, heißt das eben, dass das die Schwester ist.
Ab wann nennt ihr euch denn Schwestern?
Wenn man merkt, dass man zusammen einen guten Sack schmeißen kann.
Unfortunately, the Cacao Bunker, when it was finished, was almost immediately outdated because trade began to rely almost exclusively on containers, and the sisters were not really needed anymore. And so it happened that the Cacao Bunker was abandoned, and except for a few parties here and there, it had no purpose anymore. The city of Hamburg thought what to do with the harbor, not only with this building alone, but with the whole area that is today known as Hafen City or Harbor City. So they had this huge empty building, and the first idea the city had was, let's make this prime real estate an office building. Luckily, the citizens of Hamburg said, nay, we want something better here. Another idea was born, to build a concert hall directly at the waterfront. This idea was a perfect fit, because by then the harbor was more than a place of trade. It had become a landmark in itself and was a symbol for the city of Hamburg. So they married culture with history and built the new concert hall on top of the Cacao Bunker. The top quite literally reflect its surroundings, but it also reflects with its wavy form where it stands, right in the middle of the water. If you don't plan on listening to a concert there, you can still give it a visit. They have a viewing platform called the Plaza, and the entry fee for this is €3. And my tip is book your ticket online. Skip the queue, just go right up there, and I promise you, you won't regret it. The view is stunning. But wait. I promised you a crime story, and I will give you a crime story. Right next to the Elphi, there's the so-called Kehrwiederspitze. Roughly translated, it means comeback point, where legend has it that wives and partners of the sailors welcomed the men back home and took away their earnings before they could drink and gamble it away or do whatever with the money in the nearby red light district. By the way, I have a great video about the red light district of Hamburg. Give it a try. Anyways, on the Kehrwiederspitze, or the comeback point, there's a tiny police building. And this police building is a key feature, a signature feature of the German crime series Notruf Hafenkante, or Emergency Call Harbor Edge. Yeah, it is what it is. This is a weekly show where police officers and doctors solve cases. During the production of one of these episodes, they filmed at the Kehrwiederspitze, right next to the beautiful Elphi, when a crew member went missing. This man was supposed to bring a piece of camera equipment back to base when he vanished into thin air. All his stuff was there, the camera equipment was there, but the man was nowhere to be found. So the real police was called, and a search in the harbor began because everybody feared that this man fell into the water. So they searched the harbor. During this search, which went on for hours, a window cleaner fell into the water and was immediately rescued because this rescue team was already there. So this guy was really lucky. But there was no sign of the crew member. Crucial hours passed, and of course everybody feared the worst when finally a call came from the guy who had seen that he had about 5 million missed calls. The guy explained he just wanted to have a little gamble in one of the nearby casinos and snuck off set and just lost track of time. And with this spectacular case closed, let me know if you have visited Elphi. And even better, what did you snuck out of work for when you should have been at your desk? Let me know in the comments down below, and I see you next time with an uncanny story about a place you can travel to. Thank you and bye bye.